Oh, look at you. Bam.
That's got the safe in the back. Got your shooting trophies. Is that what that is?
Yeah. Yeah.
The flag's not as powerful. I mean, that's a powerful flag. You know what I'm saying? Boom. That says America.
America. And I'm really disappointed. I went through all this effort to set all this crap up, and now it doesn't seem to be working. But
Well, here's the deal, Mike. At the end of the day, check it out. On the Range podcast, we're kind of low key. It's all good. We care about all things America.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Couple of flags in the background. But hey, here's the good thing. At least we got you on. That's the key point at the end of the day.
Yeah, I like it.
So
we'll make it work.
Oh yeah, you might make the viewers all seasick over there, but we'll let you settle down.
Yeah.
Dude, this is awesome.
Oh man. Oh, there you go.
We're gonna title this one "Train Wreck," man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is awesome, Mike. Oh, buddy. Oh my God, man. I can't take too much more. I might have to sign off early, Mark. It looks like you're dying. Mike, you need some supplemental O2, man. Are you good?
I'm good. Let's do this.
Oh, man.
Hey, here's what you're missing, brother. We've been doing it.
All right.
All right. Here we are. Another episode of On the Range podcast.
Yeah.
With War HOGG Tactical and Kelley Defense. And our guest, we got Mike Green from Green Ops. Mike, how's it going, brother?
All right.
Doing great. Glad to be here.
Yeah, buddy. Couple technical snafus, but yeah, man. Glad you're on. Glad we finally got things worked out.
Talk about perseverance, man. You never gave up.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, whatever phone that is, that's amazing. That freaking image is awesome.
Yeah, it's 11 Pro.
Dang.
Wow. All right. Might be forced to get me a new phone.
Yeah,
just for the camera aspect, man.
Yeah, no, and that's and it's on the
forward facing or just the selfie one. Yeah.
Yeah. That's even, I mean, cause you put it the other way, you're even going to have better quality out of it. So that's impressive.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I'm really excited about it.
Cool, man. Good to finally get you on, man. Good to see you. Looks like you've been staying busy, man. Sun shining your face there, a little tanned. What's been going on?
Yeah, I'm just trying to hit the range a little bit, trying to take advantage of the fact there aren't a whole lot of people shooting because of the ammo crisis, so I can shoot more,
Mm-hmm. Hey, man. How's it been finding bullets for you?
Oh, it's really hard. So I got lucky because I've always buy in bulk,
Mm-hmm.
So I had just shot about 5,000 rounds. And so what I did was I went out and I purchased, I don't know, maybe 6,000 or 7,000 rounds. And right after I bought those, that's when the whole pandemic thing hit. And then, so, I mean, I literally, when everyone was, trying to get ammo, I had bought it for like 9mm at a price of like 160 or 170 for like 1,000 rounds,
Yeah.
And I bought several, like I said, about 7,000 rounds. So I'm still living off that. Plus I had some saved up from before,
Mm-hmm.
But when you're shooting, you're used to it. You go through quite a bit, and people, they don't understand when I say, hey, I need, 10,000 rounds. And they're like, what do you, you're hoarding it. Well, no, when you shoot 200 rounds a week, that's simple math. That's 800 rounds a month,
Mm-hmm.
If you shoot a match or you do something special like a class, that could be another 1,000. So, you're looking at well over 10,000, or maybe even double that per year, if you're shooting actively for training.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. 5,000 rounds a year, that's a very low end in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah.
But like you said, you got people going, oh, you're hoarding, you're doing this. And it's like, no, dude, because like the problem I'm facing, and I'm curious to find out how you're doing. Are you starting to see a decline as far as students for classes because of the whole ammo issue going on right now?
Yeah, we are. We've had multiple students reach out to us in the past so far, just saying stuff like, hey, I signed up for this class, but I'm having problems getting the ammo. And luckily, though, I had, at the time, I had the ability to help those guys out, with some ammo. But now it's getting to the point where, I can't even do that. But, we tell them, hey, get out there and, because online it's hard to find, it's very hard to find. But I tell most people they have better opportunities to find ammo if they go to their local gun shop,
Yeah, but what I'm getting from guys is here's what's going on, at least kind of this neck of the woods, is now you've got the rationing from the gun shops where it's like, hey, you can get a box or two. So now you got guys trying to circle around going, hey, I don't know if I can get all the rounds I need. It's like, hey, dude, just show up with what you got. We'll make things work, and I don't know. It's just crazy time. So I was just curious to see how things were happening on your end. Cause I know that's been my biggest thing is I got people going, hey, I'd love to sign up. I can't find ammo. Do you got any ins on ammo? And unfortunately I don't, man. Used to use Defender right down the street in Rayford. They were easy, $10 flat rate shipping. Boom. Get people bullets all day long. And they're 4+ weeks behind just trying to get out to their distributors, so dude, it's tough times across the board.
And I wish there were a way to reach out to some of these ammo companies and say, listen, as opposed to selling ammo to people who are going to hoard it or not use it, why don't you work with the training companies, because we're not hoarding it. We're going to use it, and the students are going to use it. So
yeah, and that was my whole thing. Trying to work with defenders. Go, hey. And again, if you're an ammo manufacturer out there, please listen. I think here's the easy fix. Whether it's, War HOGG Tactical, Kelley Defense, Green Ops, doesn't matter. Whatever training company you want to partner with, and then merely just say, hey, let the students know or put a note in there. If you need ammo, once I do a deposit. I don't know if you're a full installment or however that works, but for me, at least get a deposit up front. That shows good faith. Okay, cool. Now you send that name to the manufacturer. Hey, reach out to these guys for your ammo. And at least there would be a sure way that they could get that ammo for the training. So,
yeah.
Is the shortage simply because, in both your guys' opinion, because they're not able to keep up with the demand?
I've heard and rumor on the street is obviously trying to get components. So I know, trying to get, so if you're not a manufacturer of primers, you've got to go outsource your primers from whoever. How many does that company have? And oh, by the way, if they're an ammo manufacturer, do they want to sell those primers knowing that, hey, things are in shortage, things are in squeeze to, these smaller companies? I don't know what all the rhyme and reason. Kind of, I think about it back to the 22 issue we had years ago. Where'd all the 22 go? We couldn't find that, if you remember, for the longest time. And then mysteriously kind of went away and boom, all this 22 started rolling in. So I don't know. Mike, you got any ideas on that?
No, I think, I think one is we've had a huge increase in people who have bought in firearms, and, now next comes ammo. And the other thing we've got a huge increase is, I think, 70% to 80% of our students have been repeat customers. And we ran 2 classes back to back where every single student was new, so I think you have a lot of people purchasing firearms, purchasing training, purchasing ammo, which has caused a spike in the sales. But on the other side to it is that I really think there's very little excuse for the manufacturers, what they're saying as far as the reasons they're raising the prices. I understand there may be a shortage of materials, but years ago when Obama was elected, before he even came into office, ATK, I had the opportunity to talk to some of their sales folks. And I was asking them, like, hey, why are you guys raising the price of ammo? Because they sell Spear, Lawman, CCI, Blazer, all this different ammo from ATK. And the guys that were selling it were like, we didn't raise the prices. It's distributors. And they're like, we went from operating from 9 to 5 to 24-hour operations. So like, if anything, we could probably offer it at a discounted rate because now we're hiring more people and, we were buying more in bulk. Just like, if you buy one of anything, it costs a lot more individually than if you bought 10 of those.
Yeah.
So in theory, unless there's something going on that I don't know about, and I've heard tons and tons of excuses. Oh, we've got to pay overtime. Yeah, roger that. You're probably hiring part-time employees where you don't have to give them the same benefits.
Right. Yeah. My understanding, it's not the ammo manufacturers themselves. Like you said, it's all these distributors. So you think about it. I buy my bullets from whatever company. Let's say I buy a case of 9mm. I'm just going to use rough numbers. Let's say I buy it for $200, right? I normally would sell it for $300, make $100. Now I can sell it for, well, you're seeing it now closer to $450, $500. So, yeah, in some cases. But the part is, it goes right back to 2A cutting their own throat. So we sit there and we always talk about, we got to do this and we got to do that. But here we are at a potential shortage, which I don't even know if there is or isn't. But the point being is you have all these distributors basically cutting everyone's throat. And I'm all about capitalism, don't get me wrong. But it's like, it's like, come on, man, really? You'll make your money in the sheer volume that you will sell. So that's my 2 cents and been my harp on that. I mean, I got it. Make a couple bucks, make your living, all for it. But when you start going, hey, $5.56, $1 a round, really? It's like, give me a break, man.
Yeah.
So,
well, Mike, for our listeners and our viewers, tell us how you ended up with Green Ops and a little bit about your background.
All right. Well, I spent 15 years in the Army, all that in Special Forces. Did a lot of training and, with firearms training in the local nationals and, different countries. I got out and when I got out, I started contracting overseas and then, working through different government agencies. It was a better, financially for me to have an S Corp or an LLC. So I formed Green Ops. And in between deployments overseas as a contractor, what I would do is I would use that company to do training, pre-deployment training for, military or other contractors. And then I kept the company and it kind of sat idle for more than a few years when I moved up to Northern Virginia. And then I recently, not recently now, it's been about 5 or 6 years ago, started actually, doing open enrollment courses for the public. And that was based out of the need at the time when there was a lot of people buying AR-15s about 5 or 6 years ago. And there were a ton of people that didn't know how to use them. And then I don't remember the silly magazine AR-15 prices that were going on back then.
Oh, yeah.
So the NRA had approached me and asked me to start running classes up in the Northern Virginia area. They didn't really have a vendor that had that kind of a background. So I started doing those at the NRA indoor range up there. And they just kind of blossomed from there, seeing the demand, and started doing outdoor classes, 2-day classes, classes on the road, classes for military and law enforcement. And it's just, kind of skyrocketed from there.
But I think an interesting point, Mike, with Green Ops is you also have an instructor cadre or an instructor staff.
Oh yeah. So that's really, in all honesty, the I guess the secret sauce behind behind Green Ops is really the instructors. The cadre that I have is just amazing group of folks. So I've got our top shooter right now is Josh Shaw. He just made Grandmaster in carry optics. And not only did he just make Grandmaster, but now he's actually beating other Grandmasters and local matches and, just doing really well. So that's an indicator that he's, just didn't make it, but he's shooting at that level and he's crushing it. And the guy just keeps getting better and better and better. And he's a phenomenal instructor. We've got Chris Alvarez, who you've met at the Tactical Athlete Games there. And he is, I think competed like probably the most, I think, of anybody. I think in most of them, he's competed. And then, former Special Forces Ranger, airborne guy, who just is an amazing, talented individual, shooting, fitness, just a really likable guy, makes you laugh. People are always, intimidated, I think, when they first hear about him, and then they meet him and they see how open he is and likable. And then I got Luke Brooks. He's a B-class shooter, considers himself a local boy, but tell you, he's like a master class hidden inside of because he's shooting far superior level, and the guy is extremely strong. He's one of those dudes that could probably lift up a house. He's always posting videos of himself, lifting big things and lifting heavy weights over his head. And then finally, I got our major player there in the law enforcement arena is Fred, and Fred is he's a full-time law enforcement guy, but he's also a full-time instructor for his agency. And that guy, he shoots last time I shot with him, I was like, whoa, where'd that come from? And he's like, dude, I work on a range and take advantage of it,
Oh yeah.
So, and then I got a couple other guys that come and go, when they have time, a couple Rangers, SF guys, stuff like that. But just a phenomenal core guys who just are constantly running classes, constantly out there. And I can't say enough great things about those guys. They are really, I'm blessed to have met those guys and blessed to have them as part of the crew there.
Yeah. Now, are you guys primarily in Virginia, or are you guys actually branching out across the country as far as training goes?
So we're based out of Virginia now. That's where most of the guys are teaching out of. We have multiple ranges in Northern Virginia and West Virginia. But we have also been running classes, nationwide. I've ran classes down in Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, here in Texas, Colorado, where else? Florida. So we're trying to get out there more and more, and we're starting to get more and more requests. I think we got something in from Arizona the other day, but we have bags, we'll travel,
That's it, buddy. That's it, man.
Yeah.
Learn
you guys
all
certainly
that.
seem busy. I mean, you have a lot of posts on Instagram and some of the other social media platforms. You also have a lot of schedules going out. So it sounds you guys are staying pretty busy.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, we're, and the crazy thing is, in Northern Virginia, especially up there with all the crazy gun laws, I think that had a huge impact, because now you had all these people go out and buy guns because they thought, oh, if I don't get one now, they're going to be illegal or outlawed.
Right.
And then the next catapult was we had people who just bought those guns and wanted training. So like our number one class that sells out the most, like we could probably put a class out tomorrow and it would probably sell out, is our Carbine 1. And it's, people who know how to operate the gun, but, aren't necessarily new to firearms. And there's a lot of folks out there that, know a little bit about firearms, and, that fit that mold. And we'll offer that class and it'll sell out like in a couple of days.
Wow.
I think the other thing is, people today's consumers, they're smart, I mean, it's not like the old days where you couldn't, you'd have to research, go to the library and stuff like that. I mean, now you just get online, you type in the name of the company or you type in the name of the individuals, and you're able to see their videos, I mean, like if I were to Google Rick Hogg right now, I'm sure probably one of the first things that's going to pop up is the Panteo videos, And me as a consumer, you see that and you're like, oh, well, instant credibility, because we know that they have probably done their due diligence in bringing Rick on and stuff like that. So, people see that, and the same thing with Green Ops. They see, that we were on Trigger Time TV. They see that, we're running classes. They see our Instagram, they see our Facebook. They see, which we're totally open about our instructors. We have bios on them out there. No one's hidden or anything like that. We don't do anything secretive. And so people can look and they can research our instructors. They can see our videos. And a lot of people out there, our instructors, they're not willing to put that out. You can't find every instructor out there. You can't see videos of them shooting, or their backgrounds are all kind of, like hokey or squirrely or not full. They're just not out there, and people, they see that and they're like, maybe I'll go to the next one.
Yeah. See, it's funny, Mike, because I'm seeing more of a push to handgun stuff than carbine, so it's like, my carbine classes really haven't been, if you want to say, as, in demand. Everyone's wanting handgun stuff, and especially the states Well, so it's like this. You're unfree America. So the states that have some type of, let's just say, magazine restriction, or they used to have them. I don't know what the whole deal is now. But, you know, Connecticut, California, although I do have to say that I did do some carbine work up there in California, but majority, like those states there, they want handgun stuff. You know, places you go, hey, you look down at somewhere like Texas, yeah, they're more, you know, AR-15, you know, carbine type stuff. So it's just, you know, but it's funny how you kind of have certain demographics across the country where, if you want to say, certain platforms do better than other places, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that a big part of Northern Virginia, the reason why the carbine classes sell out there is because of the laws that are being enacted up there. But I totally would have expected it to be handgun specific, but because of, you know, them wanting to outlaw carbines and ARs, I think that's what the real push up there is.
Makes perfect sense, man. So yeah, keep running it for all it's worth, you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I know in the Midwest, you know, Rick and I had talked about it. I hadn't had any interest in the carbine. And then we got something, you know, we're trying to get together for mid next month for carbine. And I hadn't seen that in a while, and all of a sudden it pops up. So maybe that's has a lot to do with these laws and the concern about the laws coming up. But yeah, the carbine is definitely making a comeback, I guess you should say. Is so we'll see what happens. You know, I don't know.
Let me tell you, man.
A lot of pistol.
Oh, a lot of pistol, but man, California carbine, holy mackerel, man. Now you got to start talking bullet buttons and all these different catches, and you're trying to teach guys, hey man, how to get your gun to work, but it doesn't really work the way it's supposed to. So yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's free now. Didn't you see the news? It's free now.
Well, magazines
do whatever you want out
yes, there. But I don't think that changed the rules for their bullet buttons and constraints and, dude, some of the angles of their pistol grip, but you can't call them pistol grips. And oh my God, man. Yeah. It's just interesting.
They gave you one. So I figured that they're good for a while. They figure that.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Oh man.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Mike, I got to ask you something, brother. So Green Ops, obviously your last name being Green, when you were sitting down figuring out your business name, did that play a factor into your decision?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I sat there, I looked at, you know, of course, when you're on Aztec or, you know, you're doing a training cycle, getting ready to be on QRF, you know, you practice your Green Ops and your Black Ops and stuff like that. And, you know, I thought, well, you know, Black Ops, I'm like, well, there's too many Black Ops out there. And I was like, well, Green Ops, that's my last name. So, you know, why not Green Ops? You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't do a whole lot of jungle canopy work though these days.
But here's the thing, you don't need to, right? So it's all about, and it's cool because I don't know of a whole bunch of other companies, although we've got 3 business owners sitting here that all have plugged their last names in to their business. And that's something I always try to tell guys that, you know, are looking to be entrepreneurs is plug your name in there, man. I mean, between War HOGG Tactical, Kelley Defense, Green Ops, I mean, it's like, dude, that solidifies it's your name, man. Boom.
Yeah.
Now, if you and I could just get folks to spell our names correctly, they just need to learn how to spell it correctly.
Yeah.
I'll have all kinds of hits.
Hogg has 2 G's. You know?
Kelly's got 2 E's.
2 G's, 2 E's.
Yeah.
I got 2 E's, but just in the middle.
Oh man. Yeah. It hasn't caused me any problems at all with the old SEUs.
Dude, I had somebody send me a message the other day. Hey, I tried to email you, but I forgot one of the G's. I'm like, I got you. Yeah. You know, that's cool. So Mike, what else has been going on with you, man?
I've just been staying busy. You know, it's been a couple of days from now, it'll be a year that we got here in Texas. And, hit the ground running here work wise, really didn't have much of a break, which was a good thing. You know, when you're staying busy, you're not concerned about those things. Cause moving's it's one of those stressful things. So,
oh man.
So I got to jump right into work and, I think that helped alleviate a lot of that stress and just as things were popping off, boom, the old pandemic hit and, classes I don't think we canceled. We reduced the size of some of our classes. We implemented social distancing in the classes. We made sure students had masks when they showed up. I bought a bunch of hand sanitizer
Yeah.
For the students. In those initial days, it was, we were still selling out though. That was the weird thing. But we did have folks cancel that were, older people or people who were
Yep.
just sick or people just worried, and then, we just been stressful at work. I've been working, normal hours pretty much at work. So, here the family, they really haven't gone anywhere, but, I got 2 kids, so they run around playing all day and mama takes care of them. And,
Yeah.
it's good. Life's good. I really can't complain,
That's awesome, brother. My biggest problem was what wound up happening is once the pandemic or the China virus hit full swing, whatever you want to say, now you're at the whim of every single state. So the problem was you had some states that said ranges were essential businesses. You had some states that said ranges are not essential business. So now you're sitting there trying to go through the calendar going, all right, what do I keep? What do I scrap? This one's got to go because, this state's saying it's non-essential. And finally it got to where I was like, you know what, dude, I'm taking 2020. We're going to flush it. And it became versus being a proactive to a very reactive style to go, hey, who's got what? We finally get out to California because they were able to get some things open back up, but it's like kind of some of our states we had earmarked for stuff. Now we're just trying to play catch up, and it doesn't really help the business trying to get the word out there. Then, oh, by the way, we've got ammo shortage, which doesn't help things. So yeah, dude, I mean, having a central stable, there's something to be said for it because at least, hey, Virginia, what are the rules? What's going on? Versus, state X all of a sudden goes, ranges are shut down, non-essential.
Yeah.
Now what? Where do you roll it to? Because nobody knows. Like all this could change again tomorrow. They could turn around and say, oh, we've had too high of a spike and state X is going to say ranges are no longer essential, shut them down.
Yeah.
And dude, it's just, crazy.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely, you're absolutely correct. And the worst part is, there's people, there's people on both sides that are going to argue, validity of laws and whether they can or should not. And I was watching some news clips and they had Trey Gowdy on, and he's like, look, he goes, the people who are in charge, they can legally enforce and enact executive orders at the mayoral level, the Senate level, the county level or whatever. He goes, but the thing is that they're accountable to the people and the laws have to make sense. And it's like, he said, so for example, you tell folks, hey, you can't go to church, but you can social distance and go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Mom and pop store can't stay open. And I'm like, well, you know what? He gets it. That guy gets it, because what's good for the goose has got to be good for the gander. It has to be equal across the board. As long as you say, hey, if you're going to enact as a leader, say, hey, we're going to enact social distancing and masking or whatever. But it's got to be for everybody. It just can't be for some folks. And that's, I think the hardest thing is for most people to see the unfairness and say, well, it's not fair that you get to go without and we have to, or vice versa. And I think that's really causing a lot of frustration. I mean, just like, we know, hey, if you gather in crowds, they say the potential of getting a contagious disease is there. Whereas, it's okay if you're rioting, now you're exempt, So I think that it's common sense out there is causing more and more frustration because people aren't stupid. They see this and they're like, hey, that just ain't right.
Yeah.
I'm probably more concerned than most of my friends. I have a lot of conservative friends, but I'm probably more concerned about, the virus and stuff like that than most people. I have a friend that works at the CDC who's very conservative, and he's like, oh yeah, man. He goes, this is for real. He goes, but he goes, we have to live life. He goes, as long as you're safe and you practice safe, protocols, wash your hands and everything else, and being former military, it's easy, you just treat everything like it's an NBC environment,
Boom. Thank you, Mike. But here's my thing. There's a couple key parts that haven't been addressed, right? So to me, if we keep 6 feet, that means the virus has a very short lifespan once it leaves the host. But then you've got misinformation that, it gets on cardboard and gains magical powers, or it gets on stainless steel and gets, just the misinformation, I think, is the biggest killer. And then in turn, that just gets everything across the board where people don't know what's right, what's wrong, what to do, you know, because you want to make a decision off of the facts, but there are no facts. So it's just kind of speculation out there. Or if I opt to say X and people believe it, then so be it. But yeah, man,
I mean,
it's just,
I mean, in the military, I mean, you just because there's a contamination NBC wise, you don't stop work, you know?
Nope. You just had your protocols in place. You did your business. You wore your protective gear. And by the way, when you were done, you decon and boom. End of story. All's good.
Yeah.
I come home.
Go ahead, buddy.
I say I come home. I take my clothes off, put them in the washer. I get in the shower. I decon. You know.
Yeah. Boom. Hey.
I mean, the current numbers, you know, whether folks want to dispute them or not, the mortality rate over just the normal flu is like 3%, maybe a little over 3%. We're shutting down this entire shit show and I just don't understand that piece of it. I'm not saying, like you said, I totally believe that this is a real deal. It's out there. And, you know, the fact of the matter is it's probably going to be there forever. We have to get back to work. And Rick, you hit the nail on the head. The information needs to go out there. What exactly we need to do to help, but we got to get back to work. Yeah. 3%. Let's not shut down the whole thing. Initially, I get it. No one knew what it was or how it was going to react. Well, at no point did we truly get close to being overwhelmed healthcare wise. So let's get back to work. Let's get this train rolling again.
So Mike, what do you got? What do you got in the future, buddy? What's kind of the grand horizons for Green Ops, man?
Well, you know, we hooked up with ATAC, you know. ATAC.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Awesome.
Where's the hat at, man?
Oh no, I got something better, bro. I'm a camel up right now.
Oh man.
Oh, are we doing show and? Do I gotta pull out show and tell items?
Dude, that's got me beat. For those on YouTube, he's digging it out. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. This is awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff.
Do I got to get my plate carrier on?
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Little C2R fast, you know. Boom.
Nice.
Yeah. Don't let him kid you, Mike. He wears that thing around the house all the time. All the time.
So hooked up with ATACs. You know, great camo, great gear. I wear their hat like all the time. You know? And I wear it so much. I want a different hat now. But
so here's the thing. Have you seen the notch hats?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I have.
These things are the bomb, man. Absolutely phenomenal.
That's next on my list. So I need to go ahead and get a couple of those. But so we hooked up with ATACs. You know, hopefully, I'm trying to get a bunch of hats for the wrestling instructors, you know, so they can wear them. You know, Chris Alvarez also hooked up with ATAC, so he's, you know, got the full kit. But he didn't wear a hat a whole lot because he didn't want to mess up his hair.
No.
Well, you know, maybe we get him a visor. You know, where his hair can still, you know.
Ooh, I like that.
There you go, Chris. Get your visor on.
If I had hair like that, I would never wear a hat again. Never.
He's got some locks.
Oh,
no doubt.
Gosh. He's bringing it. Yeah.
But
or
also
shirt.
hooked up with.
I wouldn't wear a hat or a shirt ever again. Yeah.
But we also hooked up with Sons of Liberty Gunworks here in San Antonio, Texas. So
nice.
Awesome crew. And I'll tell you what, I had the luxury of taking out some of the armorers and the guys that are building the guns and the gunsmith. I took about 6 of them out, maybe 7. I took them out to a range and we did a range day. And they want to do that more often. So I'm hoping to do that once a month. But I mean, what a bunch of great guys. I mean, you know, patriots, they know that the gun they're building is going to go in the hands of somebody that could be using that for self-defense or something like that. So it's one of the things they talk about. You know, we talk about the different positions where and how to put gear on the gun because, you know, they don't know what you never know what the customer's going to do once they get it. So now, you know, the service department's going to start asking more of those questions because once they get the gun in the hand, they see how it's set up and how the sling goes on. Now they're more knowledgeable on the system. You know, the owners are big shooters. You know, they really love the guns. And they want more of that in their employees. They want their employees to be more familiar. And they do have quite a few guys that are former military and law enforcement that are working there. But they also have quite a few guys who aren't, you know. And you know the deal, just because you were in the military doesn't mean you know how to, you know, mount the gun properly or, you go ahead and put stuff on it. But yeah, and they're new knocks. I'll tell you what, their muzzle device, man, it's not a compensator, but it sure as heck feels like it when I'm shooting it. The gun doesn't move, and I don't have that blast standing next to it. That thing is phenomenal, man. I can't say enough good things about their product. And
cool.
I'm telling you, but yeah, just awesome guns, awesome crew. Mike and Kyle from Sons of Living Gunworks are awesome people, and so are the people that work there. I enjoy going down there. Of course, with the social distancing and the laws they enacted here, the shop's closed most of the times. But if I can get out with in the range with those guys, and do some shooting with them, I'll be happy. Be real happy with that.
Awesome.
And TA targets, we just started some stuff with TA targets. Let me tell you what, their targets are like. You get a workout just picking them up,
So I'm taking TAs. Are they steel?
Steel, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're awesome. Hopefully we're looking at doing more classes. We're going to start doing more classes here in the future. I think in October and September, October, some classes locally here in Texas. But it's all dependent upon ammo shortages and availability.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's really about it. We're, the guys, if there's any other classes that want to be done on the road, Josh and Chris and the rest of the crew are eager to get out there and teach. I probably see a huge increase in demand for Chris and Josh because of their skill level and their, they have a little bit more social media presence out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're more flexible in their schedules too,
Yeah.
But as I see more of, Luke and Fred, I think those guys, based on their availability, I think once they become more available, I think the demand for those two are just going to skyrocket too.
Yeah.
I think both of them, if they were to shoot USPSA, on a more regular basis or something like that, they'd probably both be at the GM level in a few short months.
Mm-hmm. What's the restrictions out there right now? Everything's pretty much shut down, isn't it? Like a range? Are your ranges open?
Ranges are open, and it's interesting because a lot of the outdoor ranges, they have waivers against wearing a mask. You don't have to, as long as you enforce social distancing.
Yeah.
And the other thing about Texas is, if you have enough space, and I don't know the distance, but if you have space on your property, just about anyone can shoot on your property.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other thing is, look at it from the perspective of you've got a lot of folks out here who already own guns, and if they want to shoot, they just go in their backyard and shoot. So,
sure.
They're more competent, I guess you would say, in general than most people are with firearms because just about everyone out here has a gun, and anytime they want to shoot, they just step outside.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's the thing too is that education part, right? So just because you've got a gun, just because you've shot all your life, doesn't mean you're necessarily doing it as efficiently or effectively as you can.
Oh, yeah.
So part of it's just the education because, man, I'm a Texan and I'm not smashing my Texas people. Love Texas, but there's a different mentality out there. There's a different personality. Guns are very much part of the culture, and it's just trying to break through to go, hey man, not saying you can't operate it, you can't do it, but let's do it to the next level. Let's get you where you're more efficient, more, trained, so that God forbid you ever had to use it, you can. So
yeah, no, I agree 100%, Rick. And, I will say in general, people in Texas are even liberals in Texas are more familiar with firearms than people in other, most other states, as a whole. But like you said, here's that level. What's wrong with going up to this level? Just like us. We were that's one of the things that you and I did, back in the military was we sought outside professional instruction, whereas other folks in group didn't. We were willing to spend our free time and our own money to go to some of the training courses that we went to while we were in the military because we knew there was a different level.
Yeah. The Mike and Rick show. Let's get where are we going today? I don't know. Jump in. Yeah. But that's the whole thing is just kind of, I think part of it is you got to think back then, if you want to say the old school era, you had to either read a book or some magazine that's how kind of the information was put out. Nowadays, you know,
Oh man,
with the interwebs, man,
Mm-hmm.
you've got access right there. Because you got to think back then, Mike, there wasn't that many instructional videos. I think Jerry Barnhart had his 10 burner, you know, VHS tapes. But I don't remember if there's really anything else that pops out of my head to go, you know, stuff out there from a video standpoint. And yeah, you were forced to kind of get that, you know, face-to-face instruction, which I got it, you know, China virus going on, get out there and get trained people, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Some of our listeners are going to have to Google VHS.
yeah,
You know, I mean,
it's right there next to beta.
oh man, I saw a meme the other day where it had the woodland pattern, and it
Oh,
said,
yeah.
"Hey, if you got anybody who wore this uniform, it's time to go to the doctor and get your colonoscopy." Oh man. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you down in Meridian, Mike, and you were very nice to me. And I saw your stuff on Trigger Time. You know, Rick pointed me, and it was just fantastic stuff. You know, ground up fundamentals and very solid stuff. So, where can our listeners and viewers go to find you and look up some of your videos, even the Trigger Time stuff, if you want to mention that? And how can they maybe sign up for your classes and look at your calendar?
Well, our main site is www.green-ops.com. So it's green-ops.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We've got a YouTube channel. And then of course, if you go to Trigger Time TV, Google them, they have a YouTube channel also. And they have Facebook, and we have a bunch. Rick's got some out there too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So we're you Google Trigger Time TV, and then we'll pop up somewhere on there in the videos.
Yeah, we'll link all that stuff in the show notes as well. Make sure everybody can get in there. You got some badass swag on there too. You still in stock with all your shirts and all that stuff, and you got some patches too, right?
Yeah, we got patches and shirts. So we were doing all that in the garage. And of course, you know, that's not the way to go. So now we've got another. We've teamed up with Spotter Up. They hook us up with our shirts. So
nice.
I'm not sure where they're getting them from, but they're just great quality shirts now. You know, so if you get a look up, we have a link on our main site, but it'll go over to their site, and then if you want to look at some of their stuff, you can definitely check that out.
Did you come up with that logo?
Yeah.
That's nice.
So we had we went to Spotter Up and talked to them about it, and then we took the idea and concept, and then they gave us a couple of. I mean, they turned out way better than we had ever imagined. You know.
Yeah, it looks great.
But the general concept was that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
their artist did it.
Is Mike doing any of the artistry, or is it he got somebody else drawing for him?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm not paying that much attention, or if it came in one ear and went out the other.
No, I got you. Now, regardless, man, they came out spot on.
Oh,
So
man, they look
yeah.
nice, looks great.
Is that the signal for, hey, Dad's got to go?
That's a twofer, 2 for 1, man.
Enjoy the time, man, because they grew up way too quick.
Oh man. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's great.
Awesome, Mike. Well, hey, brother, I appreciate it, man. We got some comments from the Peanut Gallery.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
take it easy on us, kid. We're new at this.
Hey, this is a family show. No beating the kids.
Yeah.
No beating the kids over there.
Well, really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for your service, by the way, Mike. We always like to mention that.
No, thanks, Mark.
Continued
I appreciate it. Thanks
service.
for having me on.
Continued
Yeah, buddy.
service, training up the law enforcement and the military guys. Really appreciate that.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So,
And you're looking good, Mike.
yeah, man.
I'm trying, man. You gotta stay
buddy.
young with kids. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They'll run you ragged. They will run you ragged.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Mike.
Awesome, brother.
Take
Take care,
care,
Mike.
Awesome. And I look forward to doing this again when I get a better setup.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, that
whenever you,
go ahead, buddy.
yeah, whenever, man. No, I'm just saying, whenever, man, because you had, I mean, granted, the viewers, listeners can't tell, or they might see in the beginning. I mean, you had the mic, you were set up, ready to go. So get the camera worked out, dude. We'll do a part 2. Why not?
Oh, heck yeah.
Too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to get a separate camera instead of that internal one.
The internal one, it works, man. I'm on the internal.
Yeah. I don't know why it's not working, but
Well,
I'll figure it
we'll let you mess around. Once you do, let us know. We'll get you back for Green Ops Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
all right, cool.
Thanks, Mike.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy.
Hey, thanks,
All right,
guys.
All right, take care.
All right, bye.
All right.